Georgia's race for governor heating up as candidates make their way across the state. Republican nominee Rick Jackson spent this evening in St. Mary's meeting with voters and hearing what's driving their decisions ahead of November. WSAV's Isabella Baez was there.
Just months before Election Day, Republican gubernatorial candidate Rick Jackson mingled with voters in St. Mary's, asking for their support and discussing key issues. Tuesday night, Rick Jackson met with residents of St. Mary's as he continues his run for Georgia governor. Jackson, originally a businessman, announced his run in early February. From there, he won the Republican nomination after defeating former Lieutenant Governor Burt Jones.
Not a politician. He's a businessman. I think we need more people like him.
Voters tell News 3 Jackson is the candidate that stands for the issues personal to them, such as his support of the SAVE Act, which requires individuals to provide proof of citizenship when registering to vote in federal elections.
The SAVE Act is really our biggest thing, and cleaning up voter rolls. There should not be people that illegally can vote in our country or in our state. That shouldn't happen.
On this tour stop, Jackson didn't give any speeches and was unable to talk to the media. Meanwhile, voters say Tuesday was a way to use their voice and to be more involved in what happens in their future.
Just go vote and be active in politics because it matters, and we're the future, so we need to make a difference.
Tomorrow, Atlanta Mayor and Democratic candidate Keisha Lance Bottoms is kicking off her Southeast Georgia healthcare tour to speak with residents about issues that are directly impacting them. Reporting in St. Mary's, I'm Isabella Baez, WSAV News 3, on your side.
You can stay up to date on the elections in Georgia anytime at wsav.com/electionhq. We have new information tonight about a former investigator with the Ogeechee Circuit District Attorney's Office accused of misusing flock license plate reader cameras. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation has arrested 44-year-old Andre Wright on multiple charges, including misuse of a license plate reader system, stalking, computer evasion and privacy, and violation of oath of office. The GBI says the investigation began after the Effingham County Sheriff's Office requested its help following an internal audit of its flock camera system. Investigators say Wright, a former employee of the Sheriff's Office, still had access to the system and used it more than 60 times between June 15th and July 15th that's July 5th, for what authorities say were non-law enforcement purposes. Wright was booked into the Bullock County Jail yesterday. Well, 4 teenagers are facing charges in connection with a shooting that injured 3 people in Jessup earlier this year. Jessup police say 18-year-old Carlos Mackey Jr., 19-year-old Zacharias Merritt, 19-year-old Marquavian Rankin, and 17-year-old Cornelius Shaw Jr. have all been charged in the investigation. The charges stem from a shooting on MLK Park on May 24th, where police say a group had gathered for a reported fight. 3 men were shot. Jessup police say the investigation remains ongoing. A teenager who killed 2 students and 2 teachers at a North Georgia school has been sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. 16-year-old Colt Gray pleaded guilty Friday to charges including murder for the September 2024 shooting at Appalachian High School in Winder. Gray's father, Colin, was convicted back in March on charges including second-degree murder and involuntary manslaughter. Prosecutors say the elder Gray gave his son the weapon used in that shooting. He's expected to be sentenced later this week. Well, as students prepare to head back to school, law enforcement is reminding the public that what may seem like a joke about violence online can have serious consequences. Earlier this month, deputies arrested Jason Bolyard on a charge of terroristic threats after investigators say he made threatening posts on social media. Captain Stanley Slater said law enforcement had been aware of Bolyard because of previous online activity, though those earlier posts did not meet the legal threshold for an arrest. Slater said law enforcement agencies across the country often receive reports about concerning social media posts only after a violent incident has already occurred.
It's so frequent when we have these mass shootings that all kind of people come forward after the fact with concerns they had that were never reported. It's almost always the case.
And Slater adds anyone who sees a post that raises concern to report it to their local law enforcement agency. Even if a crime has not been committed, those reports can be investigated and documented, providing valuable information if that person's behavior escalates in the future. Well, new tonight, Hilton Head Island leaders are moving forward with plans to improve one of the island's busiest roadways. Town Council reviewed the latest version of the William Hilton Parkway Gateway Corridor Master Plan today, a proposal aimed at improving safety and easing traffic along the corridor. WSAV's Danielle Ruddy now with the latest.
Last thing you want is for anybody to be injured and or lose a life. And every day that we don't make a decision could cause just that to happen.
Which is exactly why the Town Council is prioritizing this initiative. The latest draft includes changes based on feedback from town leaders and residents since discussions began earlier this year. The master plan is designed to guide future improvements along the William Hilton Parkway corridor from Windmill Harbor to Spanish Wells Road. Officials say traffic congestion contributes to nearly half of the crashes at several intersections along the corridor, making safety improvements a top priority.
Main Street with the pathways, the safe routes to school, the mid-block intersections, and some of that work, we have a plan almost baked. It is not a complete street. I wouldn't even say it's a complete-ish street, but we're trying to respect the within the right-of-way lines of what we do on that street, and frankly, I got a little frustrated myself living close by.
The full proposed project build-out is broken into sections estimated to cost over $100 million in total. The master corridor plan is focused on the safety, mobility, community, and aesthetics for all residents and visitors on the island. According to SCDOT, in the past years, there have been over 1,000 collisions and numerous fatalities on the corridor. I spoke with the mayor, and he says he's happy with the progress made tonight.
That we had been talking about this for about 2 years, but it's been going on for longer than that. To us to have some momentum going forward so that we can actually address some of the issues and get funding for it is really good. We need the safety, we need the flow of traffic to be better, so we're addressing the issues and we're going to move forward and do just that.
As of tonight, no final decision has been made, but town leaders say they hope to have an approval of resolution in the August meeting so production can begin. I'm Danielle Ruddy, WSAV News 3 on your side.
One of Chatham County's schools has found a permanent home, securing its future after years of uncertainty. The Tybee Island Maritime Academy has purchased the former Thunderbolt Elementary School, giving the charter school a campus of its own. WSAV's Isley Herschel explains why.
The Tybee Island Maritime Academy has called this building home for years, but soon it will be moving here to the old Thunderbolt Elementary School.
Knowing that we're going to have some place that our board can decide what our future looks like, and it's in a permanent location, is really great.
Tybee Island Maritime Academy's Executive Director, Peter Ulrich, is looking forward to the future at the old Thunderbolt Elementary School. The school purchased this building in mid-July and will officially have a new spot to call home.
So we purchased Thunderbolt a couple of weeks ago. It's the former Thunderbolt Elementary location. It's in Thunderbolt, so we are excited that it means we can continue to have school.
Ulrich says without this purchase, the future of the academy was uncertain.
We've been looking for and evaluating some options. We're still working with the city of Tybee. There's the potential for us to maintain a presence here on Tybee Island, so now we have a lot of different options that our board gets to explore, but at the same time we know that no matter what, after 2028 we get to continue to have school.
The school has a maritime focus, and Ulrich says Thunderbolt will be a good location to continue that focus.
I think one of the things we're excited about is what does our partnership look like with places like the marina? What could students explore and look for connected to what's happening specifically on Thunderbolt?
And of course, the question on top of some minds, is the name going to change at all?
I don't know. Our board still has to make some decisions. If indeed that's what we're going to do, is change the location, does it need to change the name?
The building's original lease expires in 2028, but officials say they're not sure when they're going to be moving on to their new campus. In Thunderbolt, Isley Herschel, WSAV News 3 on your side.